In a world that sometimes overshadows the hope found in faith, we are called, as God's chosen ones, to shine ever brighter. This is our season. This is the moment for those who embrace His divine purpose to rise, not from our own strength, but through the power and calling of our Creator. The Lord's words resonate deeply, reminding us that He has known us from the very beginning, even before we were formed in our mother's womb. We were set apart, blessed with a unique purpose, and called to fulfill a destiny unlike any other. While others may falter in times of doubt and uncertainty, God's chosen are anchored, steadfast in His truth. Armed with His strength and filled with unwavering hope, we are reminded that our greatest time is here. This is not merely a season but a calling, an invitation to bring light to a world searching for meaning. Our lives are no longer meant to drift from day to day. Instead, they are meant to reflect a divine mission. This season, we must remember that just as God guided Moses through the wilderness, anointed David in his youth, and called Esther to save her people, He calls us now to be courageous. Our God is a God of purpose and precision. He has not forgotten His promises to us, and now is the time to step confidently into the fullness of those promises. As chosen ones, we have been fashioned for a divine mission. Every prayer, every tear, and every period of waiting has led us here. God has been molding us, refining us through each experience. This is a call to trust in His plan, even when it seems impossible. We're invited to set aside our doubts and embrace the journey, walking with open hearts, willing hands, and unshakable faith. Our time to rise is not coming, it is here. In the words of C.S. Lewis, our journey as believers is not for self-glory but to live out God's will on earth. Lewis understood that each of us is crafted with divine intention and that our greatest calling is to draw others to Christ. The purpose of our faith journey is not to achieve worldly success but to be little Christs, embodiments of love, grace, and faith in action. Every hardship, every season of waiting has been a preparation, refining us to rise boldly, humbly, and in full trust of God's guidance. The journey of the chosen is rarely smooth, often marked by trials and moments that can shake our very foundations. It is in these trials, however, that we find the most profound lessons, each crafted not to break us but to strengthen us for what lies ahead. Life's hardships serve as instruments in the hands of a master potter, shaping and refining us so we can hold the fullness of His blessings. Every setback, every failure, and every hardship becomes a stepping stone, aligning us with His purpose and revealing parts of ourselves that might otherwise remain hidden. Those moments where others misjudge or doubt us can be isolating, but they serve a divine purpose, drawing us closer to God and closer to the truest version of ourselves. When God ordains a path for us, He also prepares us for it. He knew that challenges would refine our faith, teaching us to lean not on our own understanding but on His wisdom and guidance. The world might see hardship as a sign of failure, yet God sees it as preparation, an exercise that builds patience, resilience, and an unbreakable bond with Him. Through every doubt we encounter, whether from others or even from within, God is teaching us to find our worth in Him alone. People may look at the trials we face and judge us by worldly standards, seeing weakness or inadequacy. But what they often miss is that God uses these very struggles to strengthen us. He sees beyond our current abilities to our divine potential, knowing that these challenges are equipping us for a purpose greater than any earthly measure. Often, the quiet moments of struggle are the ones where we grow the most. Without the distractions of validation or external approval, we learn to find peace and confidence solely in God's presence. In these moments, our character is built, not on the praises of others but on a deep, personal connection with Him. We learn that the opinions of others do not define our worth or our capabilities, they only reflect their own limitations. God is not limited by human doubt. Instead, He uses it as a backdrop to highlight His power and grace in our lives, setting us apart for a purpose only He can see fully. So, while the road may seem difficult and lonely, remember that it is on this path that God is closest, guiding us toward the life He has prepared. As we walk through each challenge, we can trust that He is preparing us to carry blessings, impact lives, and reflect His glory. What others might view as a test or a trial is simply God's way of preparing us quietly, ensuring that when we arrive at our destination, we are ready to fulfill His calling with strength and unwavering faith. There is strength in humility, and there is power in being underestimated. God allowed us to face trials in silence, to grow without external recognition, and to build strength and wisdom that only He could see. Our resilience became a silent testament to His faithfulness. We have been prepared in ways that only a divine hand could orchestrate. Now, as we step into this new season, we carry an inner strength that will astonish those who once doubted. God's hand has been upon us throughout this journey, and every hardship has been part of His plan to fortify and shape us. Those who didn't understand our journey were never meant to. Their disbelief acted as a shield, allowing us to grow quietly under God's guidance. Now, we are ready to reveal the depth of our strength, not to prove others wrong, but to demonstrate the power of God within us. Each difficulty we encountered was a deliberate piece of God's design, meant to prepare us for something extraordinary. As gold is purified by fire, our trials have refined us. In these tests of faith and patience, we've grown stronger, more determined, and better prepared. The triumphs we are about to experience are sweeter because of the journey it took to reach them. God doesn't choose His people randomly. He chooses those who can bear the weight of His calling. Being chosen is a unique journey, requiring courage, resilience, and faith. Every moment of self-doubt was another layer of preparation for the blessings that are soon to come. God sees our potential, even when we don't. Each challenge was not a punishment but a step toward the success that awaits us. Like diamonds forged under intense pressure, God's chosen ones are also refined through the trials they face. Each challenge we endure polishes and strengthens us, leaving us not only resilient but with a deeper sense of purpose and unwavering faith. In the midst of adversity, we're stripped of anything that might dilute our calling, revealing the essence of who we are in God's eyes. With each trial, our intentions are purified, and our hearts become more attuned to His guidance, transforming us into vessels capable of withstanding whatever life may bring. This journey has readied us for the next chapter, a season not of mere survival, but of thriving. Our path has indeed been long and often marked by setbacks, yet every obstacle served a purpose. God's design for us was never about mere endurance. It was about growing through adversity, preparing us for a life of impact and fulfillment. Each hardship, every moment of struggle, was a stepping stone leading us closer to the life God has ordained, a life that is rich in purpose and grounded in His promises. Now, as we step forward, we carry the lessons learned along the way, that our challenges were not sent to defeat us but to refine us and build a foundation of strength. With our gaze set on this new season, we walk forward with confidence, trusting in God's perfect timing. He has used our trials to equip us with resilience, compassion, and a wisdom that only experience can bring. We are prepared not only to receive His blessings but to thrive in them. This chapter is filled with the promise of growth, joy, and abundance as we live out the purpose He has prepared for us. Our journey has shown us that God is faithful, and His timing is flawless. With that assurance, we embrace this season, knowing we are ready to step into the fullness of the life He has called us to lead. So, we now transition from surviving to thriving, fully aware that every trial served as preparation for the joy and impact that awaits. This is the chapter where God's promises are realized, where His faithfulness shines through, and where we are empowered to live boldly, knowing that we are exactly where we are meant to be. This new chapter in our journey is one of abundance. We are stepping into a season where every struggle and hardship we endured will give way to blessings beyond our imagination. We were not chosen to live in scarcity, but in the fullness of God's love and provision. As chosen ones, we are destined to experience a life of abundance, spiritually, emotionally, and materially. There is no need to look back with regret or seek validation from those who doubted us. Our journey was never about proving ourselves to others. It was about becoming who God created us to be. The blessings that are coming will be undeniable proof of our faith and perseverance. We know our worth, and God has seen our efforts, even when others did not. Now, He is ready to bless us openly. Our journey as chosen ones is not about worldly success or recognition, it's about fulfilling a divine purpose. We are called to be lights in the darkness, beacons of hope, and vessels of God's love. Every obstacle we faced was a part of His plan, meant to mold us into individuals capable of carrying His light into the world. In this season, we are called to rise above the limitations of the world and live fully in God's purpose for our lives. We are stepping into a life where we are not just getting by, but thriving. This is the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with limitless possibilities. The rewards soon to come are not the end of our journey but the start of something greater. As we step into this season of abundance, we must remember that our journey is not just for us. We are called to be examples, to inspire others to find their purpose and trust in God's timing. Every lesson we learned and every struggle we endured has prepared us to guide others, to show them that with faith, perseverance, and trust in God, all things are possible. Our greatest time is here, not because we are strong, but because our strength comes from the Lord. We have been chosen to thrive, to overcome, and to lead lives that inspire others to seek God's presence. As we embrace this new season, we do so with gratitude, knowing that every step we take is part of a divine plan. As we continue on this journey, let us embrace each day with faith and expectancy. We are stepping into a new era where thriving becomes our reality. God is working in powerful ways, and the wealth of His blessings is on its way. This is not the end of our journey, but the beginning of a new chapter filled with endless possibilities. We are no longer defined by the trials we faced, but by the strength and resilience we've gained. Every struggle has been a prelude to the blessings that are about to unfold. We have been chosen to live lives filled with purpose, guided by His divine will. And as we walk in faith, we can be certain that our greatest time has truly come. Let us step forward with confidence, knowing that God's hand is upon us, and His promises are true.